Welcome to Clear English Podcast. I'm so excited to dive into a topic that many of us think about, yet often feel unsure about: starting something new. Have you ever found yourself thinking, "I'm too old for that," or "it's too late for me to make a change"? If that's you, you're not alone. We all face those moments of doubt, wondering if we've missed the opportunity to try something different or embark on a new path. But here's the thing: it's never too late to start. In today's episode, titled "Why It's Never Too Late to Start Your Journey," we're going to explore a concept that's so important, especially as we get older or when life doesn't seem to be going the way we planned. I'm here to tell you that no matter your age, background, or the circumstances you're facing, you can always begin something new. Whether you're looking to learn a new skill, change careers, travel the world, or simply revisit an old passion, there is always time to start. It's easy to feel like the window for new opportunities has closed, especially when life gets busy or when we think we've missed our chance. We might feel like time has passed us by, or that we're stuck in a certain phase of life. But the truth is, age, past mistakes, or even missed opportunities don't have to define your future. Today, I'm going to show you why it's always possible to begin again, why it's never too late, and how to take that first step towards something new. The hardest part, often, is simply believing that it's possible. We become conditioned to think that new beginnings are only for the young, or for those who haven't made big decisions yet. But I'm here to tell you, that's not true. There are so many inspiring stories of people who started later in life and accomplished incredible things, proving that there's no expiration date on your dreams. From famous entrepreneurs who launched their businesses in their 40s and 50s, to artists who discovered their passions much later, people are proving every day that it's never too late to start something new. Today, we'll talk about some of those real-life examples, and how they overcame the very same doubts and fears you might be facing. I'll also share practical advice on how you can take the first step toward your new journey, no matter where you are right now in life. We'll look at ways to overcome the fear of starting late, how to deal with the uncertainty that often accompanies change, and how to motivate yourself to begin. I want you to think for a moment about something you've always wanted to do but felt it was too late to try. It could be something big or small: learning a new language, changing careers, starting a new hobby, or even traveling to a place you've always dreamed of. If you've ever felt that it's too late to go for it, today's episode is for you. I'm here to remind you that it's never too late. The only time it's truly too late is when you stop believing that you can still grow, learn, and achieve new things. So, in this episode, I want to encourage you to open your mind and heart to new possibilities. If you're ready to take that first step, then let's dive into today's discussion. We'll explore how to let go of the fear of starting late and how to turn your dreams into a reality. Let's break down some of the biggest myths about age, missed opportunities, and the fear of beginning anew. And, most importantly, I'll give you the tools and the inspiration to take that bold first step toward whatever new adventure you want to start. Are you ready to take the plunge? Let's jump right in, because I believe that you have the potential to begin something amazing, no matter where you are in your journey. So let's get started. When you think about starting something new, does the thought, "it's too late," cross your mind? Perhaps you've passed a certain age, or you feel like the timing isn't right anymore. This feeling of being too late is common, but it's also one of the biggest myths we tell ourselves. The truth is, it's never too late to begin. Take Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, for example. Many people believe that success is reserved for the young or for those who get a head start in life. But Colonel Sanders didn't even begin his fried chicken business until he was 65 years old. After years of working various jobs, including as a steamboat captain, insurance salesman, and gas station owner, he found his passion for cooking and decided to start selling his recipe. It wasn't until he was older and facing a crossroads in his life that he took the leap and began building what would become one of the most recognizable fast food chains in the world. By the time he reached his 70s, he became a millionaire. Colonel Sanders is a prime example of how age is not a barrier to success. In fact, many of the most inspiring entrepreneurs, creatives, and leaders started their journeys later in life. Laura Ingalls Wilder, the author of Little House on the Prairie, didn't publish her first book until she was in her 60s. Vera Wang entered the fashion industry at the age of 40, and now she is one of the world's most famous designers. The list goes on. So, what does this mean for you? It means that the idea that it's too late to start something new is simply a self-imposed limitation. If you've been thinking that you're too old, too busy, or too far along in life to try something different, it's time to break that myth and realize that there is no expiration date on your dreams. One of the reasons we feel it's too late is the overwhelming idea that starting something new means completely changing our lives or making dramatic shifts. But that's not true. Starting something new doesn't have to mean starting over. It can be a small change that sparks something bigger. For example, take the story of Julia Child. Before she became the beloved TV chef and author, Julia Child was in her late 30s and didn't even know how to cook. She didn't start cooking until she was living in Paris with her husband, and she didn't publish her first cookbook until she was 49. Today, she is remembered as one of the most influential figures in American cuisine. What made her journey remarkable wasn't her age, but the fact that she started small and took incremental steps to pursue her passion. She didn't become an expert overnight. She learned, made mistakes, and grew along the way. This is exactly what you can do as well. If you're thinking about starting something new, remember that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Whether it's a new hobby, a career change, or learning a new skill, break it down into manageable steps. Start small. Take a class, sign up for a workshop, or simply spend a few hours each week practicing. Each small step is a building block towards something bigger. Many people give up on their dreams or new pursuits because they don't see immediate results. But persistence is key, and it's something that often leads to the biggest rewards in the long run. Take the story of Harland David Sanders again, the founder of KFC. After his initial failure to find a partner for his chicken business, Sanders spent the next few years traveling around the country, offering his recipe to restaurant owners. In total, he was rejected more than 1,000 times before finally landing his first successful partnership. Despite all those rejections, he didn't give up. He knew that his recipe could succeed, and his persistence eventually paid off. This is an important lesson. Persistence is often more important than immediate success. You might face setbacks, you might encounter rejection, and you might stumble along the way. But each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. For those of us thinking it's too late to start, the key is to stay persistent. Whether you're starting a new career or picking up an old passion, don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying. Embrace the idea that setbacks and challenges are part of the journey. The longer you persist, the more you learn, and the closer you get to achieving your goal. To further inspire you, let's look at more examples of people who started later in life and achieved remarkable things. Take the story of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company. Ford was 45 years old when he founded his company and built the first affordable automobile. Before that, he had been experimenting with engines and mechanics but had faced several failures. Yet, his determination to improve the transportation industry led him to create a revolutionary product that changed the world. Then there's Stan Lee, the legendary comic book creator behind Spider-Man, Iron Man, and other Marvel characters. Lee didn't create his first comic book character until he was in his 40s. In fact, it wasn't until later in his career that he became the face of Marvel Comics. He didn't let age or previous setbacks stop him from realizing his dream of creating iconic superheroes. Stan Lee continued to work well into his 90s, and his legacy still lives on today. These examples demonstrate that it's never too late to start something new, regardless of your age or past experiences. The key is to stay focused on your goals, to learn from every step along the way, and to keep pushing forward. One of the biggest obstacles to starting something new is the fear of change. We fear failure, rejection, or the unknown, and that fear holds us back from taking that first step. But fear is something we can overcome. Take the story of Ray Kroc, the man behind the McDonald's empire. He was 52 years old when he discovered a small burger restaurant run by the McDonald brothers. At that age, many people would have considered themselves too old to start something as big as a fast food chain. Yet Ray Kroc saw the potential in their business model, and he didn't let his age or the challenges ahead stop him from turning McDonald's into a global phenomenon. Fear of change and the unknown is normal, but it shouldn't hold you back. When you face that fear, you unlock the door to new possibilities. Start small, build momentum, and embrace the process of growth. Change is a part of life, and the more open you are to it, the more opportunities will come your way. Now that you've seen how age is never a barrier to starting something new, it's time to take action. Whether you want to pick up a new hobby, change careers, or simply learn something new, there's no better time to start than now. Set aside your doubts, forget about the idea that you're too late, and begin today. The first step might be intimidating, but remember that every journey begins with a single step. You don't need to have it all figured out. What's important is that you begin, and as you go, you'll learn, grow, and evolve. So, let go of the belief that it's too late to start something new. Your journey can begin today. Take that first step, no matter how small, and watch where it leads. The possibilities are endless, and the world is waiting for you to begin. Many people carry the belief that they should have their lives figured out by a certain age, but this notion is one of the most limiting myths we can hold on to. The truth is, life isn't about reaching a predetermined set of milestones by a certain time, it's about continuous growth, learning, and evolving through new experiences. There's no expiration date on learning, discovering new passions, or making significant changes. No matter how old you are or where you find yourself in life, it's never too late to take that first step towards something new. Take the story of Vera Wang, for example. She didn't start her career in fashion design until she was 40 years old. Prior to that, she had a successful career as an editor at Vogue and worked in various other fields, but it wasn't until later in life that she decided to follow her passion for fashion. She began designing wedding dresses, and in a relatively short period of time, Vera Wang became one of the most renowned wedding dress designers in the world. Today, her name is synonymous with luxury and elegance in bridal fashion. If she had decided that it was too late or that she had missed her chance, she would never have achieved the level of success she enjoys now. Then there's Laura Ingalls Wilder, the beloved author behind the Little House on the Prairie series. Many people associate the famous books with childhood nostalgia, but few realize that Wilder didn't start writing them until she was in her 60s. She had spent most of her life raising a family and working on a farm, but after years of perseverance, she decided to pen the stories based on her experiences growing up in the American Midwest. It took time for her to develop her writing, but she became one of America's most cherished authors in her later years, teaching us that it's never too late to share our stories. These examples are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to successful people who started later in life. Whether it's starting a new career, picking up an old hobby, or discovering an entirely new passion, age is not a barrier to growth. It's the perfect reminder that life doesn't have a set schedule, we create the moments and experiences that define our journey. So, how can you take that first step, no matter where you are in life? Start by letting go of the idea that there's a right time to pursue something new. Instead, embrace the notion that every day is an opportunity for growth. It doesn't have to be a dramatic shift. Small, deliberate actions will help build momentum. If you're passionate about learning something new, start small. Take a class, read a book, or connect with others who share your interests. The key is to start now. You have the power to transform your life at any age. So, why wait? Age is just a number, and it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Fear is one of the most common reasons people hesitate to start something new. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or the fear of the unknown, these fears can feel overwhelming. They tell us that we're not good enough, that we might fail, or that we'll be criticized by others. But here's the thing, fear is a natural part of the process. It's something that everyone experiences, and it doesn't have to stop you from moving forward. The key is to recognize fear for what it is, a feeling, not a fact. When you feel fear creeping in, the first step is to acknowledge it without letting it control you. Fear often comes from imagining the worst-case scenario, but what if, instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you shift your perspective to focus on what could go right? What if this new step leads to something incredible, something that changes your life for the better? Think about this. Many of the most successful people have faced the same doubts and fears that you're experiencing right now. Take, for example, Steve Jobs, who founded Apple. He didn't always have a clear path to success, and he faced countless setbacks. In fact, he was even ousted from his own company for a period of time. Yet, instead of letting fear and doubt control his decisions, he kept pushing forward. His persistence led to some of the most groundbreaking innovations of our time. Or consider J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, she faced years of rejection from publishers and battled her own self-doubt. She was a single mother, living on welfare, when she first started writing the books that would eventually become a global phenomenon. But despite the rejection letters and the financial struggles, she kept writing. She didn't let fear of failure or judgment stop her from pursuing her passion. And today, she is one of the most successful authors in the world. What's the common thread between these stories? It's not that they were fearless or that they had everything figured out. It's that they didn't let their doubts stop them. They took action despite the fear. And that's the key lesson here. you don't need to have all the answers or a perfect plan to begin. You don't need to know exactly how things will unfold. The first step is simply to start, and from there, things will begin to unfold in ways you might never have imagined. The good news is, overcoming fear doesn't require huge leaps or immediate success. In fact, it's often the small, consistent actions that lead to the most profound changes. So, don't wait for all the stars to align. Don't wait for the fear to completely disappear. Take that first step, however small it may seem, and trust that the path will reveal itself as you move forward. Every person who has ever succeeded at something has had to push through doubts and fears. It's a natural part of the journey, and you are no different. What matters is that you don't let those doubts hold you back. Instead, use them as fuel for growth. The fear might not go away entirely, but with each step, you'll become more resilient, more capable, and more ready to face whatever challenges come your way. Remember, the only way to truly fail is by never trying at all. So, take that first step, and see where it leads you. You've got this. When it comes to starting something new, the idea of making a big change can feel daunting. The thought of overhauling your entire life or taking a huge leap can be overwhelming, and it can make the prospect of starting seem impossible. But here's the truth. Starting doesn't mean you have to make a huge change all at once. In fact, small steps are often the most powerful way to make lasting progress. The secret to achieving something meaningful is not about rushing into everything, but about taking consistent, manageable actions that add up over time. Imagine this. If you want to learn a new skill, like playing the guitar or speaking a new language, you don't need to devote hours every single day. Instead, set aside just 30 minutes a day to practice. That's it, half an hour. You'll be surprised at how much progress you can make by committing to small, consistent practice sessions. Over time, those 30 minutes a day add up to hours of learning, and before you know it, you'll be far more advanced than you ever thought possible. Or let's say you're interested in switching careers. It can feel like a huge, overwhelming task to completely change your professional path. But starting doesn't mean you have to quit your job today and jump into something new without preparation. Instead, begin by researching the industry you're interested in. Read articles, watch videos, and talk to people who are already in the field. You can even start by reaching out to someone for an informational interview or attending networking events, which will help you get a clearer picture of the opportunities available. These small steps can help you build momentum and prepare for a larger career shift down the road. The key here is that every small action, no matter how minor it might seem at the time, is a step forward. It's like the process of building a house. Each brick, even though small on its own, eventually contributes to the structure. You don't have to wait until you have everything figured out to begin. The first step is simply taking one small action. Whether it's signing up for a class, sending an email to someone you admire, or setting a timer for a short practice session, each step you take brings you closer to your goal. Small steps are also easier to manage and less intimidating. When you break your big goal down into bite-sized actions, it becomes much more achievable. Plus, the sense of accomplishment you feel after completing each small task will give you the motivation to keep going. It creates a positive feedback loop. The more you achieve, the more confident you become, and the more momentum you build to keep moving forward. And here's something important to remember: consistency is key. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to rush the process. Progress happens when you keep showing up, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. The compound effect of small, consistent actions over time will lead to big results. It's not about how fast you can go or how much you can accomplish at once, it's about consistently putting in the effort, no matter how small it might seem. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by making big, dramatic changes overnight. They got there by committing to the process, one small step at a time. Oprah Winfrey didn't become a household name by instantly creating the world's most successful talk show. She started her career in local TV, worked her way up, and honed her skills for years before reaching the level of success she has now. She didn't rush the process. She took small steps, day by day, to get closer to her dreams. So, when you feel overwhelmed by the enormity of your goals or the uncertainty of starting something new, remember that it's okay to take things slow. The power of small steps lies in their ability to accumulate and create lasting change. Don't be discouraged by how far away your goals might seem. Just focus on the next step, and trust that, over time, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Every day is a new opportunity to take that next step. Even on days when you don't feel like it, remember that small actions can still move you forward. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have everything figured out from the start. All you need is the willingness to take one small action and keep going. Before you know it, you'll have made significant progress toward your new journey. So, start today, take one small step, and let the momentum build from there. You've got this. One of the most liberating realizations you can have when starting something new is that change is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Change can feel intimidating, especially if you're stepping out of your comfort zone or embarking on a journey that feels unfamiliar or uncertain. But the truth is, change is one of the most powerful catalysts for growth and self-discovery. It opens the door to new opportunities, experiences, and perspectives that you may never have imagined possible. When you begin a new journey, no matter your age or circumstances, you give yourself the chance to evolve. Whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a different career, or taking up a passion you've put on hold, each step you take is an opportunity to expand your horizons and develop a new side of yourself. And as you grow, your view of the world begins to shift. Things that once felt impossible or out of reach suddenly become attainable, and you begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. Take, for example, someone who decides to go back to school later in life. They may feel like it's too late or that they're too old to be in a classroom again. But what they often find is that the experience is life-changing. Not only do they gain new knowledge and skills, but they also meet new people, discover new interests, and gain a fresh sense of purpose. Change doesn't just transform what you do, it transforms who you are. This shift in perspective, from fearing change to embracing it, is essential when starting something new. It's easy to get stuck in the mindset that your life has to follow a particular path or timeline. But life is not a straight line, and there is no one, right, time to begin. The right time to make a change is now. You don't need to wait for permission or the perfect circumstances. As long as you're willing to take that first step, you can begin creating the life you want. By embracing change, you open yourself up to discovering things you might never have known about yourself. Maybe you'll realize a hidden talent, uncover a passion you forgot you had, or learn new ways to approach challenges. Change allows you to experience life with a fresh perspective, and that sense of renewal is exciting. It's about stepping outside of the familiar and exploring the unknown with curiosity and excitement, rather than fear. The key is not to let the fear of the unknown hold you back. Change often comes with uncertainty, but uncertainty is simply a sign that you're moving into new territory. It's a sign that you're growing. And that's something to be celebrated. The first step is to view change not as a threat, but as an opportunity to embrace the unknown and see where it leads you. The more you embrace new experiences, the more you'll realize just how much potential there is for growth and fulfillment at any stage of life. Remember, it's not about how old you are or where you are in your journey. What matters most is your willingness to take that first step and move forward. Each new opportunity, no matter how small it may seem at first, is an invitation to grow, learn, and discover new aspects of yourself. And those steps you take, no matter how late it seems, will lead you to a life full of possibility and excitement. So, when the next opportunity comes knocking, don't hesitate. Embrace the change, step into the unknown, and see what new experiences await. It's never too late to start, and there's always room for growth, passion, and adventure. The journey can start today, and who knows where it might take you. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this simple, yet powerful message: it's never too late to start your journey. Whether you're 20, 40, or 60, you have the ability to make changes, try new things, and live the life you've always dreamed of. The examples we've talked about today, people who started later in life and achieved incredible things, prove that age is just a number. If you're holding back because you feel it's too late, take a moment to ask yourself, what would it look like if I took the first step today? It doesn't matter if you don't have all the answers or if things don't go perfectly, what matters is starting. The journey might not always be smooth, but it begins with that very first step, and there's no better time to begin than right now. So, whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a different career, or just exploring a new passion, I encourage you to take action. The world is full of opportunities, and they're waiting for you to embrace them. Don't let fear, doubt, or rage hold you back from living the life you've always wanted. You're capable of so much more than you think. Thank you for listening to this episode of Clear English Podcast. I hope today's conversation has inspired you to take that first step, no matter how big or small. Remember, it's never too late to start something new, your journey begins now. I can't wait to see where it takes you. See you next time.